Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and in this one we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about that has to do with possible new game modes that were found within the files of the game. So quite possibly one of these could be in the next update. Now also in this video we're going to be using Overwolf in the gameplay. It's just an awesome free app for PC that lets you see your opponent's stats like MMR, skill level, in-game, so you know exactly who you're going up against. It also lets you track your progress in ranked so you know just how many games you need to win to level up, which is great because you guys know how annoying it is when you don't know when you're gonna level up. This gets rid of all that worry and it's just awesome to use. So be sure to check it out, link down below in the description, and you can download it for free. But anyways, back to the video. Yes, we have, I believe, 6 different game modes, possible game modes that again were found in the files. These are official from Psyonix, not made up, even though we might go through some made up game modes in the future, but these are in the files and we're gonna be going through all of them. And honestly guys, I'm super excited for this. I really think Rocket League is in dire need of a huge update, something that's just like really gets people excited. I mean, in the past, Hoops was fun, Snow Day was fun, and Rumble was probably one of the most exciting, but we need something huge, and I think one of these game modes could possibly be what we're in need of. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Leave a like down below if you guys enjoyed, and let's just jump into it. So yeah, all of these come from an awesome kind of like hacker type guy on Reddit. He's found a bunch of stuff. He's even a white hat owner, so you guys know he's legit, but he found a bunch of stuff in the files, and none of these are released yet. None of them are announced, but he did even get permission from Durkin to make these public, which is pretty interesting to me because you would think they'd maybe want to keep some of these silent, but maybe that also means that they're trying to get people excited for these, that one of these is going to be in the game and they're going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, big credit to him, but let's just jump into it with some of the game modes because there are some weird ones in here. But starting it off, let's go with 500. So basically this one is based on the game called 500 in real life, which if you go to the Wikipedia page is a ball game for children, and it is played with one participant throwing a ball and the others catching it for points, which is obviously a non-contact game. Now that by itself is a little bit confusing, but Cat Exception gives us a little bit more detail here and says that when the ball hits the ground it explodes, and when the ball instead hits a car, the player of that car gets points. So the balls have a random ball touch score and a random launch speed, which even that seems a little bit confusing, but I'm thinking it's kind of like you have to keep the ball in the air, sort of kind of like drop shot. You know how if the ball's on your side you're trying to keep it from hitting the ground? I think that would kind of be what it's going to be like, but instead the whole core of the game is you trying to keep the ball in the air and touch it as many times as possible. I think this would also be a team game. I'm not really sure if it could actually be like a non-team game. That would be really weird, having a game in Rocket League that's like a free-for-all or something like that. That would actually be really cool. But I also think he's saying here that the balls start off with a random score instead of like getting higher, which would kind of make more sense, and they also launch randomly from like the center of the map. Overall, pretty interesting, but I couldn't really see it being in the game. I just don't think it would really fit well. I don't really think it would be that exciting since we already have drop shot and that's kind of the same thing, and that kind of gives you the feel of this but with more to do. So I don't think this one will be added, but it's still an interesting one to start off the list. Now getting into an even more interesting one here. This is what I'm calling the Mario game mode, and I thought this would kind of come with the Switch because it would honestly make sense coming with the Switch, and you'll see why here because he describes it as something related to items and dispensers. It might be something like Rumble, but instead of automatically getting a certain item after some time, you get it by picking it up. So imagine like Mario Kart type boxes on the field, maybe in place of boost. Maybe you have like a certain amount of boost, or it recharges, or you get unlimited, something like that. But I'm imagining that in place of the boost pads are like random power-ups. So it would kind of be like those Mario mystery boxes in Mario Kart. You're picking them up, and it would kind of add like an extra bit of fun to like Rumble, because Rumble is definitely one of the best things they added. That thing was so much fun. I remember we played that for like a month straight. That thing was awesome. But if they changed it up with this, maybe added in new power-ups, I would definitely be excited for that, and I think it would be a fun one to try out. But yeah, I did think this would be coming with like the Mario NSR on the Nintendo Switch. I thought that would kind of be like a fitting thing, but unfortunately it is not out yet. But it could be coming in the next update. We're just not sure yet. As for the third game mode, this one is called Red Green, which is definitely an interesting name and equally an interesting game mode. So this one, Cat Exception describes it as there are red balls and green balls. If the green ball is active and you are on the ground, you get demolished. If either of the balls is active, you get the sum of times the balls were active. Really confusing there. Really confusing. So what I'm kind of getting for this, and this isn't really for sure, I don't think we have enough details on this to really make an accurate guess of what it's going to be, because one of the things that confuses me is, do you make the balls active, or is it on a timer? Is it random? Does the game just randomly choose which ball is active? And what does that mean that you are on the ground, you get demolished? Are you supposed to keep the ball in the air and try try and score it in the other net. I'm really kind of confused on this one, and I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be. And I'm also confused about why it says if either of the balls is active, you get the sum of times the balls were active. That doesn't really make sense to me. I'm not sure if it's talking about points. Like if they're in the air, maybe you have to keep your team's ball in the air, and the other team has to keep their ball in the air. But then I'm also confused about why they are red and green and not blue and orange like typical Rocket League colors. This one confuses me. Maybe we can actually ask Psyonix about this one and do a follow-up video, but that one easily one of the most confusing. The other ones are more straightforward, but that one is still pretty much up in the air for me. Now then for the next one, this one is called football, but it literally has nothing to do with football. Like not American football, not the football that America calls soccer. This one is like King of the Hill. So Cat Exception describes this one as the longer you touch the ball, the more points you get. Some kind of King of the Hill, but with a ball instead of a hill. Or similar to Team Defender in Call of Duty, but instead of a flag, it's a ball. So first of all, I think you guys kind of know what King of the Hill is. This was even a game back in like Halo 3 and the current Halos, I think. But that would usually be whoever stayed in a certain circle the longest would gain points, like 1 point every second, and then after like 5 or 10 minutes, whoever was in the circle the longest won the game. So I think the Rocket League version of this is whoever like touches the ball the most or is in contact with the ball. A little bit confusing, but I also think it would make more sense to consider this one as keep away. Again, not football. I do not know where they chose that name. But then it also is kind of like Team Defender in Call of Duty, where you hold onto a flag and whoever holds onto it the longest wins the game. I think it would kind of be like that, but again, how do you determine who has the ball? Maybe you get rumble spikes and you're trying to drive away from everybody else on the field. That would actually be pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. But that is what football is. Again, basically keep away. As for the next one here, we have 2 more to go, and these last ones are pretty interesting. But this next one is very unique and definitely different from things we've had in the past. So the name of this one is Turn-Based, and what Cat Exception explains it as is cars of one team are frozen until the other team scores, hits the ball, or destroys a car. So that might seem confusing as well, but I'm pretty sure I know what it is, and this one actually sounds really awesome. Because basically what I think this is Rocket League, but you take turns on the plays that you're making. So as the name implies, turn-based, each team takes turns basically deciding what they want to do. If they want to make the play of maybe hitting it into the corner, maybe that would be better for them. Or maybe they want to demo a player that's in the goal. Or even they can rearrange their players and put them like in front of the opponent's shot so they don't have a shot on net. It seems like it's going to be kind of like chess, but with Rocket League. And I think some people might already be doing this in like custom games, and I think you could probably do it if you have like an honor system where you just tell people not to move each time somebody hits the ball or makes a decision in the game. But I think this could honestly be pretty fun. I think it could lead to some fun strategizing and also making some cool shots, so like chipping it over the defense or just other stuff like that. I think a slow game mode like that would actually be pretty fun and a nice change of pace. But as for the final one here, this one is probably one of the most interesting because it goes by the name Treasure Hunt, and I mean you can tell by the name it is pretty interesting. So for this final one, Cat Exception describes it as a hidden ball with no gravity. When you hit it, you get 5 points and the ball respawns. You get a message every time the ball spawns or when a player hits it and therefore scores the ball. You also are able to see the distance between you and the ball, but not which direction. It's basically the hot and cold game, but in Rocket League. So do I have to explain hot and cold to you guys? I don't really think so. But in case somebody has not had a childhood, hot and cold is basically a game where you're trying to find something. Somebody knows where it is, and in this case it would just be Rocket League itself would do it for you. But you walk around not knowing where it is, but they tell you if you're getting hotter, which means you're getting closer to the thing that you're looking for, or you're getting colder, which means you're getting farther away. So basically by those clues you kind of try to figure out where it is. And in this instance, in this treasure hunt game mode, it would seem like you'd be on the field, but the ball would randomly spawn anywhere on the field. It could be near the ceiling, it could be near the goal in the corner, it could literally be anywhere, and your goal as a team is to try and find it as quickly as possible and faster than the other team. Now again, they say the ball is invisible, so that could be pretty interesting seeing people just flying through the air blindly trying to hit the ball before the other team, and I think it could honestly be pretty fun. I don't, however, think it would be very fun for like a long time. I don't think there'd be any competitive leagues of treasure hunt players, just because it seems like something you get kind of bored with fast. So even though it'd be pretty awesome starting out, I'm not sure after all if they would include this. I'm kind of changing my mind on that, but I do think it could be cool overall. Now those are the 6 game modes, but kind of putting it all together, what if they also did something where it was like a grab bag of these games? And what I mean by that is you go into this playlist that has all 6 of these game modes, and you don't know which one you're going to get until you get into game. I think that would actually be super fun. Like that would keep me playing these games for a super long time, And some of these are just simple alterations of like stuff that are already in the game, so it would seem like they could possibly be pretty easy to implement. And also looking at how some of these are pretty small, like the 500 game, I think it could be possible. I don't know, guys. You let me know down below in the comments if you think that would be a cool idea, to have a playlist where you just click it and it randomly selects the game you're playing, sort of like how it selects maps, and that way you can just have fun playing a bunch of different game modes. But anyways, guys, that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button to be the first to hear about new Rocket League news as soon as it comes out. And also check out my previous videos, such as an awesome top 10 saves on the left, and then on the right going through the best and worst non-tradable items that people got with decryptors. But other than that, guys, again, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm TheLlamaSir, and I will see you guys next time.